pleasant morning, my dear beloved students. Welcome back to the contemporary world. Always remember, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. So, stay strong, keep yourself motivated and inspired. Don't give up. Today, we will discuss Asian regionalism. As part of the lesson, A World of Regions. We have 3 learning outcomes to achieve by the end of this lesson. First, differentiate between regionalization and globalization. Second, identify the factors leading to a greater integration of the Asian region. And third, analyze how different Asian states confront the challenges of globalization and regionalization. What comes to your mind when you see this photo? Post your answers now on the comment box below. Please don't forget to indicate your complete name and class block. This is for your individual recitation and it is graded. What is regionalization? It is an increase on the economic growth of countries within a region that develops through societally driven processes such as markets, trade, and investments. How does regionalization differ from regionalism? Regionalization is different from regionalism. Regionalism is the political will to create a formal arrangement among states or a geographically restricted basis. Regionalization is different from regionalism in terms of process. Regionalization is spontaneous and is bottom-up, while regionalism is artificial and is top-down. Regionalization is driven by the society, its people, and their market, while regionalism is driven by the government and its policies. Regionalization helped build bridges among Asian countries. Trade, financial transactions, investments, technologies, labor and tourist flows, and other economic activities helped strengthen the relationship among Asian countries. Asian regionalization is a result of economic forces that connect the Asian countries together. Asian regionalization complemented globalization. Asian regionalization complemented global relationships rather than replace them. As a consequence, it was not only beneficial to Asia, but also to the world. It helped sustain the region's growth and contributed to globalization. To further understand how regionalism exists in Asia, let's take a closer look on ASEAN. an association founded by countries in Southeast Asia in 1967. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations was established on August 8, 1967 in Bangkok, Thailand, through the signing of the ASEAN Declaration. The founding countries of ASEAN are Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. Brunei Darussalam, Vietnam, Laos PDR, Myanmar, and Cambodia joined the association later. The aims and purposes of ASEAN show how it promotes regionalism in Southeast Asian countries. First, we have to accelerate the economic growth, social progress, and cultural development in the region through joint endeavors in the spirit of equality and partnership in order to strengthen the foundation for a prosperous and peaceful community of Southeast Asian nations. Second, to promote regional peace and stability through abiding respect for justice and the rule of law in the relationship among countries of the region, and adherence to the principles of the United Nations Charter. Third, to promote active collaboration and mutual assistance on matters of common interest in the economic, social, cultural, technical, scientific, and administrative fields. Fourth, we have to provide assistance to each other in the form of training and research facilities in the educational, professional, technical, and administrative spheres. Fifth, we have to collaborate more effectively for the greater utilization of agriculture and industries, the expansion of trade, including the study of the problems of international commodity trade, the improvement of transportation and communications facilities, and the rising of the living standards of the people. 6. To promote Southeast Asian studies and to maintain close and beneficial cooperation with existing international and regional organizations with similar aims and purposes, and explore all avenues for even closer cooperation among member nations. What are its challenges? Both regionalizations and regionalism's main goal is to develop the nation's economy, but in the process, the nations face some challenges, such as threaten a strategic partnership with countries from other regions, exclusion of other countries that do not belong in the region. Compromise financial stability of some nations, example deepening credit crisis, weak currency, etc. Fourth, we have climate change might rapidly affect the region over time. Environmental damages may result to radical changes in economic policies. Threats on health and security of a country might make the flow of people and goods more expensive and difficult. How can regionalism help Asia grow as a region? According to the Asian Development Bank 2008, Asia may be able to address the challenges of regionalism by linking the competitive strengths of its diverse economies to boost productivity and to sustain the region's growth, connecting the region's capital markets to enhance financial stability, reduce the cost of capital, and improving opportunities for sharing risk. Third, cooperating in setting exchange rate and macroeconomic policies in order to minimize the effects of global and regional shocks and to facilitate the resolution of global imbalances. Fourth, pooling the region's foreign exchange reserves to make more resources available for investment and development. Fifth, creating regional mechanisms to manage cross-border health, safety, and environmental issues better. 6. Exercising leadership in global decision making to sustain the open global trade and financial systems that have supported a half-century of unparalleled economic development and building connected infrastructure and collaborate on inclusive development to reduce inequalities within and across economies and thus strengthen support for pro-growth policies. What factors may hinder the integration of the Asian region? Absence of a non-political platform to maintain peace and stability among countries, lack of inter-regional trade or liberalization of trade in the region, insufficient support to promote economic growth, social progress, and cultural development in the region, lack of communication and cooperation in Asian countries through media. Let us now look at examples on how Philippines experience regionalization and regionalism. It is a case study with Japan. Japan, recognized as one of the large economic powers in the world, receives pressure to take a bigger role in regionalization and globalization. Thus, they redefined their foreign policy objectives and made sure that they are more responsive to the needs of other countries and have policies that are attuned with the different countries in the region. Today, Japan considers how regional communities such as APEC and ASEAN could serve as vehicles for their multilateral diplomacy in the region. Japan cooperates and helps the countries to develop economically, socially, and culturally alongside with them. Their actions are in line with the principles of World Trade Organizations and other regional communities as well. As an example, in 2019, the Japanese government through its aid arm, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, committed to support various rail infrastructure projects of the Philippines through Official Development Assistance (ODA) loans, which carry low interest rates. This will help ease up the serious traffic problems in highly congested areas such as Metro Manila. Now, let's take a look at the Philippines-Indonesia relationship. Through ASEAN, the relationship between the two countries grew stronger over the years. They have supported each on foreign policies concerning the region, such as on issues related to democracy and maritime law. Both countries established an embassy in the other country's capital in 1949. Through the help of ASEAN, the Philippines and Indonesia have been trading goods. For example, the Philippines' coal export to Indonesia was worth $1.12 billion in 2003, which increased to 2.9 in 2009, then to $3.89 billion in 2010, making the Philippines the biggest supplier of coal in Indonesia. What is globalization? According to Sage Handbook of Globalization 2014, it is the worldwide integration along economic, political, social, and cultural lines. Here is a diagram showing the difference of globalization to regionalization. So when we talk about globalization, it has something to do with the countries across the world help each other for their own development, while regionalization, it has something to do with the countries from a specific region help each other for their development. When did globalization start in Asia? There are manifestations of globalization in Asia as early as in the 1500s. The Portuguese invasion of Malacca in 1511, the arrival of Ferdinand Magellan in the Philippines in 1521, the consolidation of power by the British in South Asia, Burma, and the Malay Peninsula, and the French taking control over Indochina in the late 19th century. Globalization in Asia. In general, globalization in Asia is an external push by Western regions such as the United States and Europe, will inevitably create economic, political, societal, and cultural transformation in the Asian region. Just like regionalization and regionalism, globalization has its challenges too. Below are the major challenges that policy actors may face during the process of globalization. It will require a lot of time for all countries to receive the benefits of globalization. Globalization leads to instability. There will be increased competition on the economic market, which will affect wage, labor rights, employment practices, and the environment. Other complicated problems might be used as an excuse to avoid searching for alternatives to cooperate in the overall interests of the countries and its people. High-level decision-making and political discussions are needed from the country leaders as issues on old industries, emerging economy, and marginalization may arise. These are the key takeaways from this lesson. Remember, regionalization is different from regionalism. Regionalization is an increase on the economic growth of countries within a region that develops through societally driven processes such as markets, trade, and investments. Regionalism is the political will to create a formal arrangement among countries in a region. Globalization is defined as the worldwide integration along economic, political, social, and cultural lines. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Please like and subscribe for more educational video updates. Thank you so much.